Welcome to the Dirt Broadcast, digging to the bottom of every situation to get to the truth. Here's your host, Jason Mills.
Hello, folks. Sorry for the late start today. Having some internet problems here at the house. I had to actually go somewhere else to do the podcast, so bear with me. AT&T is apparently not working at my house, and so that's caused me some trouble, and I've been trying to get it fixed, but I was unable to, so I had to, like I said, go to a different location to do this podcast. So we'll just give everybody just a couple minutes to get on here. We appreciate you joining us today. And I'm going to try to share us out to a few places while we're waiting. Hope everybody enjoyed this beautiful day. It was really nice outside. So I am standing. I'm not sitting doing this podcast. So if you see me wiggling, my background keeps going in and out. So doing the best I can with the situation at hand. Can't wait to get new internet service out here in the Big Ridge area. Well, it's giving me a hard time to share this out here. Anyways, like I said, I hope everybody's had a good day and all that kind of good stuff. I'll just have to share it out later, I guess. Hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful weather. I know I've said that a few times. That's what happens when I'm trying to do more than one thing at the same time. Anyways, hope everybody is planning on attending the meeting Thursday night. We'll talk about that more here in just a few minutes, but hope everybody's doing well and healthy, and over all this sickness that's been going around and all those kinds of things. Remember to like, share, comment. We appreciate it. We take as much time as we can to answer those questions that we might get, or what have you. Feel free to go back and forth with me. Don't mind that either. But like I said, had some internet issues at home, so I do apologize for running late. Still trying to share this out. I don't know why it won't let me. But anyway, I've talked to a bunch of y'all yesterday and today, and I've been trying to get some questions answered for you. Not had much luck today, but like I said, we'll talk more about that here in just a few minutes. Still won't let me share it out here. There we go. We're getting somewhere now. Well, I shared it out to a couple, not as many as I normally do, but like I said, we do appreciate you joining us today on this The Dirt Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Mills. We appreciate you each and every week as we come to you and try to bring you up to speed of what's going on in Union County. I did have some internet issues, so I had to go to a different location. That's why I'm late. So I apologize to all y'all that were looking for me at 8 o'clock. But here I am. I know my lighting's not the best and all that kind of thing, but this was a hurry up and get started kind of thing. So just bear with me, and I appreciate it. Let's see. First things first. If y'all like, like metal music and that kind of thing, and if you enjoy the music on my podcast at the beginning and the end, that music was specifically wrote for my podcast, and we appreciate that band that did that for us. And part of them doing that too for my podcast, I agreed to announce when they were performing and all that kind of good thing. So if you're interested in that kind of scene, that band is actually called No Return Address. And their next date currently is April the 12th at Oak Grove Theater. I believe that's in Oak Ridge, I believe. But don't quote me on that one. But April the 12th at Oak Grove Theater, the band that did my music for the podcast here, and I've talked to a few of you that really like it. So that band's name is No Return Address. So feel free to go out there and support them if you would like. I don't know if there's a charge or anything like that. I just got the date and said I'd tell everybody. So there you go. This podcast probably be fairly short considering that I'm standing here and don't have a chair to sit in and all that kind of good thing. So, but we'll go as long as you all have questions and all that kind of good stuff. So like I said, feel free to comment, ask your questions. We greatly appreciate it. And feel free to share me out. I appreciate that. We are on Facebook and Rumble and YouTube. You can look up the Dirt Podcast. And then on Rumble, I believe it's the Dirt Podcast UC for Union County. You can follow me on any of those. We appreciate the growing. I get at least, it seems like, at least another viewer or two every couple days. So we appreciate all that. Just trying to check something here while I'm thinking about it. But of course, it's not going to cooperate with me either. I hate being rushed, folks, and I hate being late and that kind of thing. And so I don't have all my information together that I need it for this podcast because of having to run somewhere else to do the podcast and all that kind of thing. But major thing that I want to discuss with everybody who is interested in trying to change some things here in Union County as far as politics goes and that kind of thing. And one of the steps that you can take to do that is actually trying to change those that kind of run the conservative or Republican Party. I know, we have the Union County Constitutional Republican Party, but we also have, the normal Republican Party in Union County. And so the Republican Party is reorganizing on Thursday. They're meeting at the courthouse at 6 p.m. I don't know which courtroom. I attended the meeting yesterday, and they didn't know which courtroom they were going to use. But it'll be at the courthouse on Thursday, as I said, at 6 p.m. And so what's going to happen is if you have voted. In order to vote for the new folks that are going to be in charge of the party, as far as chairman, vice chairman, secretary, so on and so forth, you have to register. You can go on this Dirt Podcast Facebook page and click the link there. It's a post or two down from this podcast, and you click that link. It's just like 2 or 3 questions. I think it's name and email, maybe name and phone number, or what have you. It's not very complicated, so just go there and you can pre-register. You have to be registered to vote in the Republican Party situation, reorganization that's happening on Thursday. If you pre-register, it's probably better because everything has to be verified. You can register there when you go if you're going to attend on Thursday, but it's just going to be a little bit of a longer process because Candy Booker, the election administrator, does have to go down to her office and do a little bit of research, make sure you're qualified, you meet all the criteria, and all those kinds of things in order to vote. So like I said, it's better if you pre-register. That way she can already go ahead and have that all squared away for everybody and that kind of thing. So that is on Thursday. Like I said, 6 o'clock courthouse. Feel free to be there. Now, some of the other stipulations in order to vote are you had to have voted in the last at least twice in the last 4 primaries. It doesn't matter if you voted Republican. This is some interesting information, I thought. You don't have to be a registered Republican or a registered Democrat in order to vote. Anybody can vote as long as you have voted in the last 2 or the last 4 at least twice of primaries. I thought that was a little bit interesting. That's why one of the things I learned yesterday in the Republican Party meeting yesterday. So I guess if you're a Democrat and you want to come and decide who's running the Republican Party, you're allowed to do that too. That's only to vote in this election. If you want to run for anything other than chairman, every other thing, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and there's a few other there's a few others. If you want to run for any of those, I was given some wrong information by the chairman of the Republican Party, which was Sidney Jesse. No fault of his, I don't suppose. He didn't know it until Candy Booker told him yesterday evening in the meeting. But so the information that I was given that was incorrect, I'd like to clarify now. So that information is if you want to run for anything, you did not have to submit a letter other than if you were going to run for chairman. Every other position has to be nominated on the floor. And you can't do that till Thursday. So if you planned on running for anything like that, you will have to attend Thursday, and somebody will have to nominate you, and somebody will have to second that nomination on Thursday for whatever position you think you might be interested in running for. And that is different for the chairman. Now, let's talk about the chairman for a minute. Chairman set himself up pretty, the current chairman of the Republican Party is Sidney Jesse, who's also a commissioner. So in order to run for chairman, you had to have actually submitted a letter by the 13th, I believe it was, of this month. And you had to have voted in the last 4 primaries 4 times. And you had to vote Republican. That is different than any other office you run for, you had to have voted in the last 3 of 4, but you didn't have to vote Republican. You can, as long as you voted, you can run. The only one that is specific is the chairman. You had to have run and voted 4 times in the last 4 primaries, and you had to have voted Republican in each and every one. I just thought that was a little strange, considering you run in the Republican Party. But on top of that, the chairman position is the only position, like I said, you had to submit a letter of intent. But not only that, but it's also the only position where your name is actually going to be placed on the ballot. Every other position, when you get your ballot to vote for whoever you want to, it will have the folks that are running for chairman already printed on the ballot. And then vice chair will have a blank. You'll have to write in the name you want to vote for. And secretary, you'll have to write in the name. There won't be printed names for you. So you have to write in those names. That the only reason that is because they had to submit those letters of intent by the 13th. And so, funny thing about that is there was only one person that submitted a letter of intent by the 13th and kind of, set himself up for an automatic win, I guess. And that is Sidney Jesse. So I guess Sidney Jesse will continue to be your chairman of the Republican Party here in Union County. I thought about running myself. I was given some wrong information again, which is why I didn't decide to run for chairman. But I did actually, under the information I was given at the time, I did submit a letter that I would run for vice chairman. And so, with that being said, I would appreciate each and every one of your support. If you all would come down Thursday at 6 p.m. And you, like I said, pre-register if you can. If not, I understand. But I would appreciate everybody that could come down and support me and that meets those qualifications and come down and vote for me. I would greatly appreciate it. I need, obviously, like I said, somebody to nominate me and somebody to second the nomination. And then, of course, as many votes as I possibly can get. So that's the big thing coming up. There's also a 911 board meeting Thursday. I believe it's at 7. And there's also a meeting on another topic. If you remember back in the last county commission meeting, I believe Commissioner Eddie Simpson wanted some more information from the Constable Association and those kinds of things as far as the constable situation. So the Constable Association has set up a meeting on Thursday. I believe it starts at 7 for them to meet with anybody in the public or commissioners or anybody that wants to come down so they can have a discussion and kind of, get the real information out there about what constables are supposed to do, what their rules and regulations are, and all those kinds of things. They did ask the commissioners to RSVP. From my understanding, no commissioner has responded. And that was as of last night when I talked to a few of those members of the Constable Association. So hopefully some will show up, especially due to the fact that they're the ones that ask for more information and to open up the dialogue and to be able to communicate and to learn more. So hopefully, like I said, they will attend before, the next meeting. They're supposed to have another vote. And to abolish the constable. So I don't think it's quite fair if they don't take that opportunity to go down there and, to learn information. I know some of them can't. Some of them are on the 911 board. And of course, who knows how long this Republican Party meeting is going to be and all those kinds of things. But, you got to give them a chance, and they're trying to make the effort and do what these commissioners have asked them to do. And they set up the Paulette building. They got the Paulette building from the mayor, and asked the mayor to attend and the commissioners to come down so they can have a discussion, so they can get all the information out there and not be limited on time and that kind of thing, and just kind of, like I said, open up dialogue between the Constable Association and the rest of the county. So hopefully some of them will show up and do the right thing and get the information that they need and all that. So we'll just have to see how that turns out. So I know there's a lot going on Thursday. But again, my main focus right at the moment is for each and every one of you that possibly can is to come to the Republican Party meeting on Thursday at 6. And again, I would appreciate your vote and running for vice chairman. If y'all could come down and vote for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. And that kind of thing. Again, folks, this podcast is going to be pretty short because I'm not in my usual location. My internet's down at the house. And so I'm just standing here. That's why you see me bouncing, because I'm trying to keep my legs moving. But I don't have a chair to sit in, and that's where I had to come do this podcast. So again, I guess the highlights of this podcast is number 1, attend the Republican Party meeting on Thursday, 6 p.m. at the courthouse, and pre-register if you can. Just go down a couple posts from this podcast on the Dirt Podcast Facebook page. There's a link there. You can click it. And it's just name and email or name, phone number, just a couple questions and that kind of thing. And you'll be good to go. Another thing is 911 has a meeting on Thursday, and the constables have a meeting with any of the folks there and the county government or anybody in the public that's got questions as far as what the constables are supposed to do and not do and all those kinds of things. That's supposed to be at the Paulette building. I believe I was told yesterday at 7 p.m. So lots going on Thursday. Of course, we got a county commission meeting coming up soon and all those kinds of things. So appreciate everybody's support. And one more time, if y'all like my music in the beginning and the end of my podcast and that kind of thing, I've got a commercial too, but I've not run it very often. But that band that does that music for me, and like I said, that music was specifically done for this podcast, so that Facebook can't say, hey, you can't play that, so we got to silence your podcast and all that. This music that I play is specifically wrote for my podcast. It's my music. But that band's name is No Return Address. They will be playing on April the 12th at Oak Grove Theater. So if you're interested, go check them out. We greatly appreciate it. And again, we'll see all y'all that can make it on Thursday at 6 p.m. at the courthouse. And let's shake some things up. That's what I want to do. I want to get in there and it's time for the good old boy system to kind of go away. It's time for some new blood to come in, and I know we got a lot of Trump supporters out there and that kind of thing. Y'all know that I'm a Trump supporter. Y'all know I'm a constitutional Republican, and I won't change for anybody. I talked to somebody last night, and they were talking to try and talk me into running next year for some things. but they were talking about how much they support me and believe in what I believe in. And their biggest compliment to me was, and one of their things that they want to encourage me to continue to run and be about is common sense. And if y'all followed me for a long period of time, I've said that Union County government lacks common sense in a lot of different areas, different things that they do. And they were telling me that how much that they appreciate me having common sense and trying to do the right thing and all those kinds of things. So if you're watching this podcast and you're the one who told me that, I greatly appreciate it. Haven't forgot that you told me that, and it means a lot to me. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all that actually support me and encourage me and call me and text me and email me and all the things you do, and you accept my phone calls and all that kind of thing. I talked to, like I said, several people yesterday. So hopefully everything works out. And this Thursday, when y'all come down, hopefully vote for me to be vice chair of the Republican Party. Hopefully this will just be the start of a new momentum for the Republican Party here in Union County. And hopefully, as far as specifically in my life, hopefully it will be a start of a new movement with all your support, because everything I do, it's not just about me. It's about all of us here in Union County that believe in the same things that I believe in. And I said that during my campaign, I'm just a God-fearing, freedom-loving patriot trying to do the right thing. I'm still that same person, still trying to do the right things, whether you like me or you don't like me. We're not always going to see eye to eye on everything, but I hope by now y'all know that I'm going to fight for the right reasons, and that I'm going to fight as hard as I possibly can. And, I stand up to bullies, and I will stand up for you, and I will stand up for our children, and I will stand up for everything that I believe the Republican Party of conservatives should be standing up for. And so if you can, one more time, come down Thursday, courthouse, 6 p.m., register to vote. If you can, pre-register and come down, and let's see what we can do about changing this Republican Party into the direction that a lot of us would like for it to change into. So appreciate you. Thank you. Sorry for being late again. Again, my internet's down at home, and I had to run somewhere else I could get the internet connection and do this podcast. So I apologize in advance. I don't have everything I was going to do for this podcast with me. So again, I apologize. But thank you for tuning in. We got some thumbs up and all that kind of good stuff. Nobody had any comments today. But appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Remember to pray for me. I'll pray for you. And thank you. And we'll talk to you later. Hopefully see you Thursday. Good night.
You just heard The Dirt, digging to the bottom of every situation to get the truth with your host, Jason Mills. Tune in next week at the same time for another Dirt broadcast.